This lesson is going to be on the Yum package manager. This will allow us to actually install programs, update programs, check for updates, find out more information about certain utilities, and even search for different programs that we want to use. So in this video I'm going to actually install a mini web server that can work with PHP and MySQL. So to install Apache you need to install HTTPD. So let's just do yum list. Now the list will list out all the packages. Give it a second. And you'll see that it would list out all the packages that we either have installed or can get installed, and so on. Updates and more. Now there's two ways that we can search for a package. We can either pipe this to a grep, and let's say we wanted to install HTTPD. You would just pipe that to grep HTTPD, press enter, give it a second, and it would then output you any of the files that contain HTTPD in them. And you'll see that it has HTTPD. I already have it installed. Another way that you can search is also using yum search HTTPD. Instead of piping it over to grep, the yum list, you can just do yum search, which would search through the file descriptions, the names, like different key terms, if you weren't sure what the package was called. So let's do yum search HTTPD, and this will show us also a list of the packages with a short description of what each one is. So just give it a second. So you'll see it says HTTPD is an Apache HTTP server. Notice it does not tell us if we have it installed or anything yet. So that's why I prefer using the yum list method. You can also find out more information about a particular package by just doing yum info HTTPD. And this will actually query the database and return us a description of what HTTPD actually is. And you'll see here that it tells us what we have installed and what's actually available to us. So you'll see that there is an update available, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that. So to update a package, we would need to do yum update HTTPD. But before we do that, we can actually check if there's an update for a particular package by just doing check update. Now this would check the entire server and tell us if we need to update anything on the server. So you see these are all the packages that need to get updated. Let's say we wanted to check a particular package, we could just do yum check update HTTPD. And this would tell us if we need to update, if there's an update available for HTTPD. And there is. So let's go ahead and update it. We would just do yum update HTTPD. Press enter. Wait for it to check the mirrors. So now you'll see it prompts us if it's okay to download the 1.2 megabyte update. So we would just have to type Y or N to approve or not approve. I'm going to type N, and I'm going to show you another little trick, so that way you don't even have to wait for these prompts if you want to do a heavy install and you want to just walk away for a minute. We could do yum update HTTPD, but here in front of the update we would use the Y flag, so -Y, and this would answer yes automatically for us. So it would no longer ask us if it's okay to download the 1.2 megabyte file. So you'll see now that it's downloading the package, it's running some tests, and now it's updating our package for us. And it's done. So now, let's talk about actually doing group installs. We can actually install all the packages in a group. CentOS actually has a list of different groups that we can use to install. So let's go ahead and look at that list. We do yum. Remember before we would just do yum list to see all the available packages. Instead of yum list, we would do yum group list. Now yum group list will actually go ahead and show us all of the groups that we can actually install as one. So this would just be like a combination of different packages all combined as one for easy installation. Alright, so we have this list available groups, and you'll see one of them is actually called web server. Now let's say we wanted to know what these groups were. We would just do yum group info, and we would just do web server. Now this would actually tell you what packages are included in this group. And you'll see here's the default packages included in this group and some optional packages that can be added. So instead of doing yum install on each of these different packages, we could actually just install the group and it would configure everything for us. So let's go ahead and try that. We're going to do yum group install, and we'll install web server. Now we can use the -y flag to not have to prompt us for anything. Press enter, and now it'll go through the list of mirrors and find all of the available packages to auto install for us. So you see there's a total of 12 megabytes to download, 16 packages. And you'll see that now I've finished installing the web server packages, and we now have a web server set up. Let's go ahead and start the Apache process. To start and stop processes, all you would have to do is service httpd start would start the process. You could stop them by doing stop, or you could also restart. Notice how the first one failed in stopping since we had already stopped it before. So now to view a list of running processes, you could either use ps-aux or top, and you'll see that you'll see the different processes available to you to restart. Let me zoom out. There we can see the command running as well. So now that we have this web server group installed, and we have service status and HTTPD is running, let's go ahead and remove the web server group and in general. So to remove the entire group, we would just do yum group remove web server. And this will actually remove all the packages associated to this group. Let's press yes to continue. Notice that it's going to also remove HTTPD, even though we had HTTP already installed apart from this group. And now the removal is complete. You'll see that it will no longer find the HTTP status, unrecognized service, and we do not have PHP installed. So it looks like PHP actually didn't get uninstalled from the group remove. So let's go ahead and remove it manually. We could do that by just doing yum remove PHP. Okay, so it's not the PHP package we have installed. We have PHP common and PHP CLI. So let's go ahead and remove that. Notice that I can declare a list of packages I want to remove or install by just separating it by a space. And now if we do php-v, you'll see that it no longer has PHP available for the system. So let's go ahead and reinstall the group. So we're going to do yum group install web server. So now you'll see it has to go through and install HTTPD. I'm going to go ahead and press yes to accept the 14 package install. And you'll see it installed the dependencies, PHP CLI, PHP common, which we had to manually remove last time, as well as all of the additional packages. So now the next step in this, we'd want to turn on our Apache service. That way we can generate web pages. And let's say you wanted the HTTPD to start automatically on every reboot of your PC or your server. We would just have to do check config HTTPD on. And if we wanted to turn it off on every restart of your computer, we would just do off. But let's leave that as on so we can show you. Let's go to the applications, internet, Firefox web browser. And let's just go to http://localhost. And you can see we have Apache installed. Localhost is this server, is this computer. So let's go ahead and add a page to it. The web pages for the Apache by default are stored in CD, var, dub, HTML. So if we create let's just do echo hello world, and we're going to redirect that into index.html. Now if we restart Firefox or refresh, you'll see it now has hello world. Let's go ahead and make a index.php file. And we're going to go ahead and do these PHP info. Go back here. And you'll see that index.php has priority over index.html to show in the actual root folder. And it'll let us know what version of PHP we have installed, as well as our configurations for PHP. Another common package to install when installing Apache and PHP is MySQL for databases. Let's go ahead and do yum group list and pipe that over to the left. It says that our application is currently in use, and that's because you can only run yum once per terminal or per machine. And you'll see that this actually was using it up, checking if there was any available updates. Let's just go ahead and X that. And then now this should kick back in. And you'll see that we have our list of packages. So these are our installed groups, and these are our available groups. We want to install MySQL database. So first let's just do yum group info to see what the packages within that group is. And we'll do MySQL database. And you'll see by default it installs MySQL, MySQL server, and additional connectors and extensions. So let's go ahead and install that. Yum group. Let's do yum-y group install MySQL database. You'll notice here we do not have MySQL configured or installed. So once this installs, we'll be able to set it up with PHP. And we'll probably need to add MySQL to PHP. Let's see if it didn't already configure it itself. I'm going to go ahead and check yum list for PHP, and this will show us all the extensions of PHP that we can install and configure, or that are already installed and configured. Let's just scroll up, and we'll see PHP MySQL is not installed. So let's just do that. Yum install PHP MySQL, and this will now configure PHP to MySQL without us having to actually edit the php.ini file. So now after all the installs are done, you're going to want to restart the Apache service. We'll go ahead and refresh this page, And you'll see now that we have MySQL installed. Lastly, we just want to go ahead and update our entire machine, and we could just do that by yum-y update.